Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video we'll talk about radius and ulnar bone together, and I'm sorry for the background noise in advance. So let's start. Radius is the bone of the forearm and it is present along the lateral side, or we can say it is present along the side of the thumb. So it is called as the lateral bone of the forearm. Which one? Your radius bone. While your ulna is present along the side of the little finger. So ulna is your medial bone. So here are some short points which I made for you. So इसे हम बाद में देखेंगे. So first we will talk about radius and ulnar bone. First we will talk about the upper end of the radius. Upper end of the radius bone. So there will be head that articulate with the capitulum of the humerus at the elbow joint. So this is the head of the radius that articulate with the capitulum of the humerus at the elbow joint and is articular and fits in socket that is formed by the radial notch of the ulna and form the superior radioulnar joint, which is a type of a pivot joint. Now we'll talk about the lower end. So in the lower end, radial artery is present, which is palpated against the anterior surface. There is 4 grooves are present for the extensor tendons, and dorsal tubercle of Lister is also present on the posterior surface. On the medial surface there is ulnar notch is present, and on the inferior surface there is triangular area for the scaphoid bone, and there will be quadrangular area for the lunate bone that form the wrist joint. So the question can be asked like which bone take part in the formation of the wrist joint. So there will be scaphoid bone and lunate bone take part in the formation of the wrist joint. Now we'll talk about the attachments. So the one that is highlighted with the orange are the insertion, and the one that is highlighted with the yellow color is the origin. So first we will talk about the radial tuberosity. So in the radial tuberosity there will be insertion of the biceps brachii muscle. Along the lateral surface there will be insertion of 3 muscles on the upper side, on the middle side, and on the lower side. When we talk about the upper side, there will be insertion of the supinator muscle. On the middle side there will be insertion of the pronator teres, and along the lower side there will be insertion of the brachioradialis muscle. From the upper part of the anterior surface there will be origin of the flexor pollicis longus, and along the lower part of the anterior surface there will be insertion of the pronator quadratus muscle. Along the anterior border and anterior oblique line there will be origin of the flexor digitorum superficialis. From the posterior surface, 2 muscles are originated, that is your abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis. Below radial tuberosity, there is an oblique cord. Oblique cord is generally a degenerated part of the flexor pollicis longus. Now we will talk about the grooves that are present on the posterior aspect of the radius bone. So from the first groove, there will be passage of the abductor pollicis longus and extensor pollicis brevis tendon. From the second groove, there will be passage of the extensor carpi radialis longus and extensor carpi radialis brevis. From the third groove, there will be passage of the extensor pollicis longus. From the fourth groove, there will be passage of the extensor digitorum, extensor indicis, posterior interosseous nerve, and anterior interosseous artery. When we talk about the junction of the radius and the ulna, there will be passage of the extensor digiti minimi tendon. From the junction of the ulna, there will be passage of the extensor carpi ulnaris tendon. So when we talk about the ossification, shaft appears around the 8th week of the development, and the lower end appears around the first year and fuses in the 20th year. Upper end appears in the 4th year and fuse in the 18th year. So lower end is the growing end of the bone. Now we'll talk about the ulna bone. So ulna is present along the medial side of the forearm, or it is called as the medial bone of the forearm, which is present along the side of your little finger. We'll talk about the upper end of the ulna, in which olecranon process, coronal process, trochlear notch, radial notches are present. So first we will talk about the olecranon process. So olecranon process is present just above the shaft, and its anterior surface is articular and it forms trochlear notch in the upper part. One is the coronoid process, which projects from the shaft and it is present below the olecranon process. And on the anterior surface, ulnar tuberosity is present. Along the lateral surface, radial notch is present for the radius head, and on the superior surface, there will be trochlear notch on the lower part. Third one is the trochlear notch. So trochlear notch articulate with the trochlea of the humerus and form the elbow joint. Fourth one is the radial notch. Radial notch articulate with the head of the radius and form the superior radioulnar joint, which is a type of a pivot joint. So about the lower end. In the lower end, the head articulate with the ulnar notch of the radius and form the inferior radioulnar joint. We will talk about the attachments. So from the coronoid process, there will be origin of the flexor digitorum superficialis and pronator teres, and there will be insertion of the brachialis muscle. Second one is the olecranon process. So from the olecranon process, there will be origin of the flexor carpi ulnaris from the medial side, and there will be insertion of triceps brachii on the superior side and anconeus muscle along the lateral side. Third one is the supinator crust. There will be origin of the supinator muscle. Fourth one is the anterior surface which give rise to the pronator quadratus along the oblique ridge. Fifth one is the posterior border which give origin to the extensor carpi ulnaris. Sixth one is the posterior surface along the lateral part where it gives origin to the abductor pollicis longus, extensor pollicis longus, extensor indicis. Seventh one is the oblique cord where the ulnar tuberosity is present. Eighth one is the flexor digitorum profundus, which arises from the medial side of the coronoid and olecranon process. Now we'll talk about the ossification. So superior part of the olecranon process appear in the 10th year of the age and it fuses around the 16th year. Lower end is the growing end and it appears in the 5th year and fuses in the 18th year. So now we will talk about some short points. So in the ulnar tuberosity, there will be insertion of the brachialis tendon, and in the radial tuberosity, there will be insertion of the biceps brachii. When we talk about the radioulnar joint, the radioulnar joint is present along the superior side, middle side, and the inferior side. When it is present along the superior and inferior side, it forms a type of a joint which is called as the pivot joint, and middle one is formed the syndesmosis. When we talk about the pronation and supination, there will be movement of the radius over the stationary ulna. So when we move our hand from pronation to supination, there will be always the movement of the radius. Ulna will be stationary always. Now we'll talk about the joints that are involved. First one is the humeroradial joint and second one is the superior and inferior radioulnar joint. Oblique cord, which is the degenerated part of the flexor pollicis longus. Anterior interosseous artery pierces by the interosseous membrane. Anterior interosseous artery is pierces by the interosseous membrane. There will be Lister tubercle on the posterior surface on the lower end of the radius. Radius is homologous to the tibia of the lower limb and ulna is homologous to the fibula of the lower limb. There will be radial artery that is palpated for the radial pulse and it lies on the pronator quadratus that is lateral to the tendon of the flexor carpi radialis. This video is useful for you. If you like the video, then don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Thank you.